redefines who we are. I started you off, now the other two you can get. Exactly like I gave it, okay? It redefines what? Who we are, and which is what? What's the name I gave you for it? Identity. The second one is what?
Lifestyle.
Yeah, but we're going to read it all? Can we read it?
Lifestyle.
No, can we read the first 5 words? Redefines what we do. Remember I said you got to do it like I gave it.
Yes, sir.
That's a correct curriculum when you're in the school. You can't give abbreviated form. You got to tell it whatever the lecturer gave you, that's the way you repeat. Right? Okay, third is what?
Redefines where we are headed.
Okay, and that is?
Destiny.
See, it's all up there, cheat sheet going. Yeah, I was wondering why y'all was so quick on your feet. Yeah, and we said that this thing needs to be declared. It's the truth that God has in the scriptures that has to be declared. The declaration of truth is the gospel, the glad tidings of good things, right? And so we found out that God's intent is to have incarnation of who He is in the earth. Right? Mm-hmm. And this thing is going to be activated. It's going to be able to flow. Oh, that was the word we stopped at, wasn't it? Activation and stuff. Didn't we go over there? Someone talking about the activation? Mm-hmm. What did we say something about that? Because it really wasn't in my original notes, I don't think. Huh? What did 3? Mm-hmm. What was it?
It was inspiration.
Inspiration. Meditation. And activation. Did we leave anything off? So it's meditation, inspiration, meditation, and activation. I updated and put it in the group. Remember? And I put it in a nice setting, packaged it. We're going to include it into our curriculum, but we won't start it there. But so activation is important. Can we say activation is important? Mm-hmm. You can be inspired. You can get the meditation. You can have your mindset on God. Could have some kind of function on the inside of you, but you need to be transformed. Mm-hmm. And transform brings us to, or the activation brings us into the manifestation. So it's time for the manifestation of what God intended. Right? Amen. So it is an interruption of what the design of God for all of humanity, especially His elect. So manifestation is the activation of the revelation. Manifestation is the activation. Oh, there you go. Inspiration. Learn to live from the spirit of the word. Meditation. Biblical process will open up the eyes of our heart. You got this. I ain't even tell you to get it done. You pretty good. You go, girl. To encounter the truth of who God is and the truth of His word in practical ways. Amen. Activation. And then the manifestation is the activation of the revelation. Ain't some good stuff, y'all. So there's a biblical process to these things. Opening up the eyes to see, to encounter the truth of who God is, and then all of a sudden the truth that we know is in practical, experiential ways. See, and I made it, I don't know when I made it, but I emphasized that in the West, we're so subliminal, and we got to be able to document everything, and we got to have all the dots dotted and all the T's crossed, and we won't bust a move until we get it all together. But in the East, it's captured by the heart first, not by the mind. And that's why we don't have the activation. Because we're trying to clinically dissect and arrange and put it into this perfect symmetry so we can understand it in our cognitive ability. So we can understand it up here. So we got folks that can read the Bible but can't live it. I'm saying it again. We got folks that openly affirm that they have read the Bible on some level, but they haven't been able to have the manifestation or the activation of the information. Right? So we need that to happen. And this is the reason why I'm trying to bring it all together and bring us on a fresh journey to understand that we can no longer live contrary to the nature that God has implanted in us. No member of the body. See, because most of us have relegated for the fivefold ministry, the cream of the crop, the apple of God's eye. Y'all know, you don't take all that stuff. We just gonna leave that for apostle and the rest of them deep people. But this, I wrote in my notes, no member of the body of Christ can be commanded to live contrary to their implanted nature. The fruit of obedience is and will always be the manifestation of what needs to be revealed. fruit of obedience, right?
Yes.
Y'all all right?
Amen.
Yeah. The fruit of obedience is the manifestation of what needs to be revealed. And so therefore, our understanding needs to be open. We need to be able to perceive God, and we need to shift from having positional truth to be receiving practical truth. A set form, a system of thinking that somehow affects the way we live. All right? So if you don't know anything what a positional truth is, it's the legal side. I mean, no, we've been raised. Come on, right? I mean, no, Ephesians 2:6 said we've been raised into heavenly places. That's positional truth. That's the legal side. But the vital side is the manifestation side. Is where we know becomes who we are. And that's what we want. That's what every believer should want, by the way. I'm just saying, amen? So, because I'm here to tell you, and I told you before, theology that's not worked out and walked out is of limited value. I don't care all your assimilation of truth and concepts, your deep revelations, your encounters with the Spirit of God, that insatiable hunger you have to consume the Word, amen, the late night of when God got you up and whispering in your ear, trying to bring you into the cleft of the rock. All that is great. But if it's not worked out or walked out, it's of limited value. So you might want to write it down. Theology that is not worked out and walked out is of limited value. It's the cheapest form of Christianity. This is why we have this clutter in the body. Amen? Everybody just want to be belonging to a body. So that we can just say that we belong to Real Boys International Ministry. Amen to the man. Am I right? And so what some seminaries say, okay, so what some seminaries say is that they call it orthodoxy. You ever heard the word? Orthodoxy? Comprised of two words. Remember a word we just recently had, ortho? What was the other part, y'all remember? Tomato. Not tomato. Ortho tomato. Remember, this is about straight course, straight way, straight path. It's when things rise to the surface, remember? Okay. So ortho is, you ever been orthopedic? You ever heard of the word? So the word ortho means make straight. Doxy, come on now. If I slap you, you can't get this far. Doxy is what? Doxa. What's doxa? Glory, or what we've known, thinking. So orthodoxy is right thinking. You had to go to seminary to get this messed up. Because you go over there, you got a whole bunch of buzzwords. But when we go to the very essence of a word, and that's what Reformation does, it brings the true intent and the very essence of what God intended to say, not what men have said. You know what I'm saying? You know, we want to hear Moses and Elijah, that's fine, but we want to hear Christ. Hear ye him. So, but see, orthodoxy is not just enough. See, orthodoxy is where we are in the West. We just got a lot of orthodoxy. We got a lot of compilation of concepts. But then we want to go to another ortho word, orthopraxy. Remember? Yeah. So if let's dissect this word. It's gonna be easy because we're gonna get half of it right. What's the first part? Straight. Are you straight? Straight. We straight up, right? Straight. But proxy means living. So you got right thinking and right living.
Yes.
We got a long way to go, don't we? We have really become experts of orthodoxy. But we haven't been experts of orthopraxy. That's when you go from having a Bible to where you become the living word. When the word is walked out like John told the church over there, 2 John. He said, I have no greater joy, not only that the truth is in you. Let's go there, come on, 2 John. That's right behind 1 John, right before 3 John. All right? So if you're in St. John, you're in the wrong place. Oh, y'all, come on, y'all. That's a good joke right there. Y'all blew that one. Y'all know it's the 1 John. I mean, 1 John, 3 John, 2 John. If you're over in St. John's, you're in the wrong place. Come on, give me a phony laugh. Come on. No. Pray for him, Jesus. Second, did I say 3 John? Yeah, is it 3 John? Yeah, it is 3 John. It's 3 John 3 and 2. 3 and 3. 3 and 3. That's right. I never connected it was with 2. Duh. No wonder. It fits right, don't it? Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper. 2. Be in health even as your soul prosperous. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified to the truth that's in you, orthodoxy, even as thou walkest in truth, orthopraxy. Right living, right thinking, right believing. Right thinking, right believing, right? Right living, right behavior. He said, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk it out. Walk in truth. Or what we learn, for continuing my word, truth is reality. That the people will walk in reality.
Amen.
Then maybe how can 2 less what? They agreed. How do we agree? Right live, right believing, and right living. Right thinking.